Can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of ArtByTai, and with my co-host, Adrian Taiwali'i, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two. DOD45. Hello, fellow humans.
People of Earth, how are you?
Hello, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian, we did it.
Welcome to the DOD45 Show, where you get to watch me draw while we have a nice little chat with a special guest. Our special guest today is Defcee.
Look, time sweeps past, I'm just dying the sand. Counted plans before they hatched and watched them fly from my hand. So it's back to the bottles of tan, and every elderly excuse I have used to dodge a college exam. Someone asked me what's the true mark of a man. I knocked over a plastic picture of water and ran. They tried to sell me a dream, so I charged...
AKA Adam Levin. He's a Chicago-based rapper, educator, and poet. He's a public school teacher on Chicago's east side. I think he's still a public teacher. He also workshops classes in the prison system. I don't know if he still does that, but it's something that's on his resume, and I think that's a pretty noble thing to be doing. He's definitely a dude about community, using hip-hop as a vehicle for knowledge. I think that's fucking really cool. How about you, Adrian? Do you have an opinion on that at all? About going
on
into
which part?
Just about like being a part of your community. I'm not part of my community, really. I'm kind of like just an artist, but when I see people who are, I think that's pretty fucking cool.
I do think that's cool. My dad worked in a prison, which I thought was cool. I don't know. I think it's cool to be able to educate prisoners. That's what my dad worked in, this education. Well, he worked for the school district, and I think that's cool. I just wish we had better prison systems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the idea is to rehabilitate. That's what they're for. Yeah. I don't know. That might sound preachy, but I like the idea of people putting in their time to help other people out who are on the downside of life. And there's always a chance to turn around. Not always, I guess, but anyway, I think that's really cool. That's just my opinion. We're looking forward to having a conversation with Defcee, and if I could just just put it out there, one of the reasons we do the show is because I want to share music, and I want music to keep going for my own selfish reasons, because I love independent hip hop, I love independent music, I love music. I just want to see it continue. So that was like it truly is the idea of the show. I also, again, selfishly, I like to be able to meet these people who make this music that I love. So, yeah, if you end up liking this discussion that's coming up with Defcee, I think it would be really rad if you went and checked out his music. And I'm not like forcing you to do it. I just said I think it would be really cool if you did. I think that would be really awesome. You can find out where all that information is. If you really care, you can just search Defcee, Defcee. There are people who we've become friends with on the show who I really like, and I just like to give shouts outs there. I'm hoping that you don't mind. I want to shout out Sage Francis and Strange Famous Records, AWOL One, Mr. Dibbs, our new friends from Underground Sound magazine. These are all people who are also putting out or pushing music, and many people aren't getting paid to do that stuff. I don't know. I guess I say it every episode, but it just means so much to me that I just feel like I'm kind of, what's the term? Beating the drum, beating a dog over the head with a stick. I don't know. Maybe that too. I wouldn't hit a dog with a stick though, even though I used to be afraid of dogs. Those are all important things to me. So that's how I will kind of start out episodes. And I apologize if it feels overly pushy into your face. I feel like if you're watching our show, you also feel the same way. So I'll try to pull back on that a little bit. At the same time, I do want to just shout out some new music that came out from past guests on our show. One of the things that I really like when we watch the episodes on the live is I like when the music, we bring up a song or somebody's music and then the song comes in and I get to hear a little snippet of their song. I really like that because it changes up the mood or something. And I also just love hearing people's music. I love music so much when the beat comes on, it moves me. But I don't know, does anyone mind if I share? I just wanted to bring up some new music that's out right now from past DOD45 guests. Sure. Cass One and Alexander Brown, they've just put out a new track called No Deer Hunter, and it's a really killer song. I really enjoy it.
I got a journal entry. There's some things in me from where the pain's stemming. Maybe it's symmetry to give me empathy. When I am empty, I feel it differently. But I'm feeling everything the world never numbs. I learned to posture and hold my thoughts like guns. Guns hold my feelings for ransom and spin them at random. Mama says I'm handsome, I use it like money.
Cass One speaks about the death of his dad. And I super connect with the song. I was just thinking, came on again when I was on my run this morning, and I was just thinking about how I used to always say, like, oh, I really loved like being there, like holding my grandpa and my dad when they died. But I just really enjoyed it. Not enjoyed them dying, but I just enjoyed being there at their side. Again, because I'm not religious, like I don't just throw my hands up and go, oh well, now they're going off to heaven and to the pearly gates. But I have, I've witnessed when the spirit leaves the body, and I don't know where that goes. So I've always found that, I've always really liked that. I like to know like that it goes somewhere, something happens. I don't know. Yeah, I always tell people it was like a great experience. Not that they died. I hate that part, but it's a great experience to be with someone you love while they're, as they're passing on to wherever they go. Because the spirit, whatever life is in there, that just goes, and it goes somewhere. You can tell. Like when both my grandpa and when my dad died, I didn't check their pulse or anything to know that they were dead. I just knew they were. Like I just saw the spirit leave. It was a really moving experience for me. And I always tell people, like, yeah, if you have the chance. I know some people can't deal with that, but man, if you're ever near where someone is passing away, spend that every moment.
You ever have the chance?
Well, like some people will go to their bedside and then they will leave, want to leave for them to die or something. But maybe, I don't know. But I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it.
Well, we listened to it in the car the other day.
Yeah, I've just listened to it so many times. It's a new track, and by the time this episode comes out, it's not like just yesterday new, but it's new, and it's really good. And I think Alexander Brown is on a mad tear right now as far as his production goes in music with Strange Famous Records. Cass One, I think, is probably at the top of his game. I think lyrically and productively. I'm happy that we've forged a actual friendship with Cass One, because I really dig that dude. I'm enjoying seeing where he's going with his music. Yeah, he speaks about in the song, I'm pretty sure he was there with his dad when his dad died, and he speaks about that, and I just connected with that. There's something really cool about that. Also, AWOL One's got a new song out called It's a Data Harvest.
Whose side are they on? Don't have to pick side. Law, cognition, kill your pride. Mind, govern, depth, flesh. Collect the rest, protect the chest. Mutual data harvesting. Sucking souls, human gardening. Fight back in big tech. Nameless, anonymous, kill your digital sweat. IP is IP. They can't see what I see. Don't exploit data, lean to God at your discretion.
And that he's releasing in connection with his 50th birthday. I don't think...
What is it?
It's called It's a Data Harvest. And I don't think AWOL1 can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned in my book, because I love everything he makes. I've been a long time fan of his. So yeah, it was just those are some new songs that came out. Factor Chandelier's new song with the Co-Defendants. That song's called Without a Trace.
Everyone is disappearing in front of our eyes in slow-mo. From the ones we love to the ones we'll never touch. From the evil to the kind I know. Pick up the pieces of a lifetime whole. From every single fight I've grown a little bit closer to understanding that we're navigating. Take us getting ready for our flights back home. Must apologize for a lack of answers, or for the fact that I don't.
And it's really, 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 really good. He's also got a new album coming out called Cold Cold World. And I'm pretty sure you can pre-order that right now on Fake 4 Records. Let me highlight some stuff from our guest, some music from our guest, and then we'll get right into the interview with him. Defcee is 1/3 of the group Def Prez, so we might have the whole group Def Prez in as a guest later. So I'll just stick to just Defcee's music from his 2021 album Trapdoor, which was produced by Messiah Music. It was also released on Billy Woods' Backwoods Studios label. Billy Woods is from Arm & Hammer, as many of you know, but maybe some of you don't. It's a all the way through from front to back, super powerful album. I'm especially stoked with the track Rabbi and the Golem featuring Henry Canyons.
I'm not easy to love, it's just rare that I'm hated. My name is Mud, but that's only the translation. I skated circles around the holes drilled in the ice by middle-aged men who are on the hunt for children to fight. Brilliant advice, earn affirmation rather than expecting it. Rappers crying for mentions like we're the parents who neglected them.
Fucking A, man, that song's really good. The piano sample in it with the bare beat leaves it totally open for some mega bars. That's a super banger. I really dig that track. Defcee's also that dude. I mean, he's just got heater after heater after heater. So I'm definitely a fan. Let me rattle off a couple other things and give you some samples of some of these songs so that you can enjoy them and then go dig deeper into them. I don't think you'll be disappointed. His 2022 album, For All Debts, Public and Private, that was released with Boathouse. It's loaded with bangers, especially the track Rossi featuring Arm & Hammer.
Sign of the cross over cognac caps. Photo array of ghosts like a Kodak map. We tapped the seal before we broke it. And some of the homies with double fisting and motorboat and Coronas. Our chief concern was hating being sober. Couldn't smell the morning for the Folgers. Shoulders slumping out of sockets like a wooden toy soldiers.
That's a real fucking solid track. In 2023, Defcee released the Golem of Brooklyn original soundtrack. That's a companion piece to Adam Mansbach's novel of the same name. He used the book and its characters to examine Jewish American culture in quote unquote all its beauty, ugliness, and the spaces in between. That was also produced by Messiah Music, and it's a very intriguing album. I listen to it often, and I based the drawing in this episode for Defcee, the drawing I do for it. I based that off of this particular book and album. About this Golem of Brooklyn album, Defcee wrote this on his Bandcamp. This I'm going to read to you. This is a quote from him. When I first read the Golem of Brooklyn, it was instantly relatable to my experience as a Jewish millennial. It inspired me to write an album about being white and Jewish, which I've always thought about writing. I'm grateful it's in the framework of a brilliant work of literature. Hilarious, thoughtful, vivid, and educational, the hallmarks of my favorite novels. The soundtrack is hopefully reflective of those qualities. I can't read, as I've stated in previous episodes, but in my research of this album, I can read, I know, but yeah, I just don't
have the attention to read a book.
I don't have the attention span to read a whole book, but in my research of this album and of Defcee, and through this track that I'm going to give you a sample of, this song called Kosher Nostra.
Tough Jews, zip guns, bare knuckle uppercuts, split lips, piss blood. Playing in Vegas in the sand and waited till it spit bucks. Fixed the World Series for less than 6 figures. Brewed and shipped liquor. Maya Bugsy, Purple Gang, Dutch Schultz, Motor Lids, Mickey Cohen, know the hit. Soldier shifted, broke the bridge. Callous fingers and soft palms.
I was inspired to want to read this book. And that's saying something. So if you know me and my reading disorder, you know that is actually saying something. Can I call it a reading disorder?
I think that you just are busy with other things.
I really try so hard to read, but I just can't.
I used to be that way, and then I found it like a genre I liked, and then I got hooked.
In 2019, he had an album come out with Knows the Time. This album is called Lacuna. I think it's Lacuna. Lacuna. That's another project loaded with music that I want to listen to all day. I really dig on the song A List of What I Want to Forget.
Pulling teeth from my ribs, crow beaks on my bill. The police selling sleep by my crib. Candlelit vigil, smelling reefs in the wind. Hidden grease in my grin, twisted trees in my Timbs, withered wings in my back. Fighting off a 7-nation army with a sling full of tacks.
His delivery on the ominous kind of atmospheric beats is really pleasing to me. And a lot of the songs on that album are ominous. I think I'm using that word correctly. He's got a ton of music to sift through, so I encourage you to do that. Please, just do that. Please, not as a lecture. I'm not telling you what to do, but I really think you'll if you go over to his Bandcamp, I think you'll really like what he's offering there. Obviously, you can find his music on other platforms, but here on the show, we like to push you over there to the Bandcamp. That's where I found a lot of his music. I want to point out a few features and collaboration tracks that you should check out. A couple of them are from past DOD45 guests, like Blockhead. The first you should definitely put in your playlist is a track called Learning Gravity.
We were wrapping round a handle like baggage claim tags. Scenic route to success, passing Palisade crags. Staring at the summit, wearing plummets on our rib cages. Stuck against rubble, blowing kisses at the cliff faces. Flick casings in the crossfire, charred fibers melted into the flesh of instrumentals like Scarliner. Lost ciphers, decoded motors remain hidden, brake clipping.
That was produced by Blockhead and released in February of 2023. And the other track that he did with Blockhead, I don't know if there's only two, there might be others, but there's another one that I really, really enjoy. It's called Gargamel.
Hazel-eyed maggot brainstorms take form as the sun's eating lakeshore drive like stage 4 size 8 shaking plastic panes and train doors, long face shape, short patience when the game's warped, fake corn syrup in the veins of their ice grills, well-read blue blood smiles built to white steel, epidemic seconds reinvented times will I chill, grimace hard to earn like life's.
Which also features Shrapnel, who I discovered from Rich Jones's episode.
Shrapnel just came out with a new album.
Oh, yeah, maybe you and I were talking about Shrapnel or something.
With Controller 7. Shrapnel.
Oh, yes.
Controller 7.
Yes, yeah. Also, a song that I know Adrian will definitely want to look into is a track called Gravid Patch.
Slam them to their body maps and ejection site. Double check the Jesus piece, make sure my resemblance right. Vengeful like you should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price. According to drug tests, he's been pregnant twice. His guts held more balloons than ballrooms on election night. 6'6.5", I'm the devil's height. My teeth looking like the picket.
And that's a song that Defcee did with Celestaphone and Rap Ferreira.
Rap Ferreira.
I said his name right.
I think Chesky just came out with a song with Rap Ferreira.
Yes.
Ferreira. I just call him Milo.
Well, he doesn't go as Milo anymore, I don't think. I think he's back on
It's just easier for me to say.
I know. Well, so anyway, the song's called Gravid Patch, and it's a cool track. Defcee also turns up on the song Party Time.
See no boat to a cocaine paradise. Richard Pryor Fahrenheit. Minks keep the ferrets right. All those spinning mirrors are thin and ice. Winking light shining like Christ upon righteousness and sin alike. White lines, double yellows and wide lanes. Fine blades, Ichabod crane in the pine maze. Village torches burning glass. Late bloomers learning fast. The history to repeat. You gotta earn the pass.
From last week's DOD45 guest, Rich Jones, from his album Smoke Detector. The song is called Party Time. He also puts bars on a thickly jazzed out track called Lights Out, which features Decay the Llama and Homeboy Sandman.
The 1,000th evolution from intelligent animals. Fine-tuning the motor skills, still I'm quantum mechanical. Medical miracle, seconds in the lab, here's the antidote. Bury those feelings deeper than language, spare us the anecdotes. Papa's got a brand new bag of dust. Duck the fam like James Brown's dancing trust. Some wounds never close once the gas erupts. Bet they'll leave a handsome husk looking fast enough. Tall guy in high school, I was...
The Homeboy Sandman from Lice. That's Homeboy Sandman and Aesop Rock. Our frequent viewers know that I'm a reggae fan, so it'll be no surprise that I highlight a track that Defcee spits bars on called Babble.
Snow beach sand on my low goose. My malicious so drone proof. The power around this talisman gon' make your abdomen look like an open roof. Ass ground by what death think. Your chain reaction get dead links. I'm Eni Kamosi meets Moses. Hot stepping on faces in red sinks. Beat them down with the collection plate. Hope Jesus could be on their co-pay list. Still donate both of they love to myself and use them to practice.
And that song he did with Curly Castro and Elucid, which dons a Bob Marley sample from The Sun is Shining. I think that's the sample in there. Anyway, I really, really, really dig that track. So listen, Defcee's got an impressive catalog of music, and there's heaps of it on his Bandcamp that I barely even skimmed with this intro. So I'll leave that up to you. You can go over there and find out more of his music. There is one more track that I want to point out. Defcee trades bars with Rich Jones on, and it's a mediocre song called Future Cult Leaders of America.
Utah Jazz, NBA champions on their starter caps. A&R treat my rhyme book like Farmer's Almanac. Unless they got money for me, I could call them back. The shoe fit, kick them out the booth, let them walk with that. Never take a verse off, feather-weighted bird songs all over your album. I ain't made it to the third bar. My kids stunting on them with home-decorated verb claws. Heavy metal plated.
I point this track out because there's a lyric in there about the Utah Jazz. And y'all know I'm a multi-decades-long Jazz fan. I watched the Jazz defeat the Bulls in a dingy bar in Chicago back in 1997 when I was in Chicago because my aunt lived there. And we were trying to figure out how old I was. I was 20. I was telling people, I was saying I was 16 or 17 from the poetry reading from Staple Mouth's Dish episode last week or the weekend before. Remember? We were trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I was 20 because this was, we went to watch a Jazz Bulls game at a bar. And it was in 1997.
And that's the year they took it to the playoffs then?
That was the first time they went to the finals with the Bulls. Then the next year they did it again in 1998. So anyway, like I said, I watched the Jazz defeat the Bulls in a bar in Chicago, and I was so happy. But hey, guess what?
You didn't cheer.
Well, I did cheer. I was 20 and I was drunk in a bar in Chicago. But yeah, I watched him get obliterated the following game. So anyway, Defcee's a Chicagoan, and while Chicago is my favorite city in the United States, a place that we frequent very often, the sting of the Bulls' Jazz history still hurts.
I've never even seen where they play. As much as we've been to Chicago, I don't even know don't they have a dome, some sort of a basketball dome?
Yeah. But stadiums are always outside of the cities, with the exception of the Soldiers Field.
Yeah, and the other
Wrigley.
There's another one, and
Wrigley
there's
Field.
A football field.
Soldiers Field
there.
is the Bears. That's the football field.
And then St. Louis's baseball is right there.
Yeah. But there's a lot of those cities.
Detroit's is right there.
Yeah.
The Lion one.
The Lions? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where their basketball dome is.
I don't think I do either. And I think we went to a game when I was younger there. Yeah. It's in Chicago proper downtown. Well, I don't even remember what the place is called. I think it sold Staples Center? No, that's shit. I don't know. Okay, so speaking of Chicago still, since that's our guest is from Chicago, this discussion that you're about to watch with Defcee was recorded with a live audience at the opening reception of my solo art show, Intrinsic. At the Jackson Junge Gallery in Wicker Park, Chicago. We recorded 3 episodes that day. Defcee was the second of the 3, but he came early. He came earlier as support. He watched all of Rich's really recording.
Such a sweet person.
Yeah, and he stuck around for Nightwalker's recording.
He's so tall too.
He's 6'6".
I guess he still is.
Yeah. Well,
6'6"?
Yeah, that's tall. It's only 6 inches. That's half a foot off of a 7-footer. But I pointed that out because I genuinely appreciate people who are like that supportive. And you can tell he's passionate about hip hop and he's passionate about his community. And I totally commend him for shit like that, for that kind of behavior. I don't know if behavior is the correct word there, but I also overheard him introducing himself to Mr. Dibbs and thanking Mr. Dibbs, basically telling Mr. Dibbs that Dibbs was partly responsible for his pursuant in the hip hop world. And that's through Scribble Jam and everything else that Dibbs has had his hands in. So, and I don't know if Dibbs feels comfortable accepting like an amazing compliment like that in person, but I can definitely tell you he told me how grateful he was for that in, just conversations that we've had. Yeah. He said he was kind of embarrassed. Like, he's hard to take compliments like that. Anyway, there are a lot of people out there who that have taken Mr. Dibbs and many others in the early hip hop scene. They've taken them for granted, and I thought that was super dope of Defcee. So anyway, the gallery show was a lot of fun. I'm super stoked about the artwork. I'm super proud about the artwork that I did for the show. Some of it is still available through the Jackson Junge Gallery. But I'm also very grateful to Rich Jones, Defcee, Nightwalker, and AM Early Morning for them coming out to the show and recording episodes with us in the daytime. The Nightwalker episode will come out in a few weeks following the Kid Koala and Rob Sonic episodes. So keep your eye open for that. I also have to thank the gallery, the owners, Chris and Laura, and the gallery manager, Caitlin, for everything that they did for putting on that show. I want to thank everyone in my family who came out to the show. I want to thank the Chicago Poetry Ensemble and my aunt, who's a poet. They all came out to the show. They all wrote poems based on some of my artwork that was hanging there. And that night they did a performance. And I definitely want to thank my collectors who came out and bought work from the show. And a real big thanks to Mr. Dibbs for bringing his talent to perform. So anyway, all that happened at the Intrinsic Show, along with this episode you're about to watch with a live audience that we recorded with Defcee. Okay, here's Defcee on the DOD45 Show. Oh, we were in a crunch for time when we recorded this, so I'm a little speedy and less responsive than I'd like to be, but in the episode. But it is what it is. And there was one other thing. There was a slightly awkward moment in the starting of this episode with the Sophie's Choice questions, because I start off episode and I say this is Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, he mentioned something about, it's funny that you have Sophie's Choices.
Yeah, well, he said, I find it funny that the two guests you have on are Jewish, and you're doing the Sophie's Choice questions. And he was just pointing it out, like was kind of interesting to him. But I forgot. So I came up. Sophie's Choice is a standard term that I've just known for a long time. I don't know why I know it. I saw the movie a long time ago, which is based on a book. I don't know how I feel about this. I was looking it up, trying to figure out, like, is it an insensitive term, Sophie's Choice? Nothing I've found says it is. I guess depending on how, like, what your intentions are behind it. I'm still just using it as a phrase that's a normal standard idiom in the English language.
Movie have some.
So I kind of hesitant to even mention what it is, but yes, Sophie's Choice is in a encampment in Auschwitz, and the mother has the choice of one of her children being burned, gassed, or both of them, or not a response at all. So it's a horrible choice all around.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, but that's not.
That's a whole movie.
That's the book. So it's based on a book, but yes, that's the movie. Yeah. At the end, and that's played by Meryl Streep. And I remember the movie, but I just would have never remembered, like, the connection, why it's called Sophie's Choice, because again, I came into the term Sophie's Choice because it's just, it's
trivia.
It's an English idiom. It's
interesting.
And when I was editing the conversation with him, he mentioned that. I cut this part out because it wasn't awkward. It just kind of came in weird, and there wasn't a way to explain it.
probably. I know I didn't know. I remember him saying something, and I went,
Yeah.
"Oh, was this a thing?"
Well, and at the time it happened, I wasn't able to explain what I just explained to you as the audience, to
Right,
you
'cause
and to
you
the
didn't
audience.
know
Yeah, because I
really
didn't
either.
quite remember what the Sophie's choice is. So it is. So the term is either a hard choice where the outcome is awful
Right,
on both
but it's
ways,
based off of somebody's.
or the outcome is nothing. Yeah, we're answering not at all.
In a way, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll probably cut this out, but in a way, it's probably a really good thing to keep such things alive so that they're not forgotten.
So people can remember.
Yeah, but it's used very loosely here.
I totally get what you're saying there, but also at the same time, it's what's behind what you're saying and things like that.
Right. No. Yeah. You certainly don't want to cause anybody.
No,
pain or
even when he mentioned it, you were like, "Wait a minute, is this being insensitive?" He's like, "No, not insensitive at all." He was like, "Oh, I just had a dark thought or something." Anyway, it was it's only cut out of this episode because at the moment that it happened, I wasn't able to explain this. It wasn't like, and I say awkward. It wasn't like awkward where everyone got uncomfortable.
No,
it was just
I do remember. I remember it, and I remember very little of every day. But I do remember going, what is it? So it reminds me of the book I read, The Tattooer of Auschwitz, but I can't remember. The end.
I'll stop talking now so we can hear directly from him. Here's the interview with Defcee. And also the Dish episode's right. The Dish segment is right here in the episode with him because they were shorter episodes that we filmed live. Here you go. Enjoy.
Hey, what's up, podcast world? This is AWOL1, and one of my favorite shows is DOD45 with ArtByTai. So check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
Welcome to the DOD45 Show. Our guest today is Defcee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We genuinely appreciate having you here in Chicago. That makes it even fucking cooler to me. So for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to draw you a picture, and then we're going to have a discussion while I do that.
Beautiful.
The drawing I'm going to work on today is based off your recent album, The Golem of Brooklyn.
Yep.
And I always say Golem, but in the album, it's a lot of Golem.
Yeah, it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So for me, it was just like whatever best fit the rhyme scheme.
How do you usually pronounce it?
Golem.
Yeah.
Golem. It really, because Golem I think reminds me too much of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And the My Precious.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So Golem I think distinguishes that.
Yeah.
At least in my head.
No, I like it. I'm going with Golem. So that's what I'm going to be drawing with you. It's Brooklyn City though, right? Golem.
So it's The Golem of Brooklyn. It's a novel by Adam Mansbach, who is probably best known for his Go the F to Sleep book. That kind of like, that was the children's book for adults.
Right.
That like Samuel L. Jackson performed on The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then its sequel, You Have to Effing Eat. That's a good one too.
Okay.
More children's book for adults. And
It's a fun concept.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And he's been very successful with it.
Well,
The novel is The Golem of Brooklyn, and it's about a prep school art teacher in New York who gets really stoned and creates a golem in his spare time.
Oh, okay. Well, then the drawing's going to work out for that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, as a tribute to one of my favorite podcasts, Off Menu with Ed Gamble and James Acaster, it's like we're sponsored by them.
I know, you don't even need to say
I know,
that.
but it's just every episode's different. But I mean, for some new listeners, and to arc the episodes, if this was your last day on the planet, and you could pick your final breakfast, what would it be?
49ers flapjacks from the original Pancake House. That was like my go-to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's probably what I go out with for sure.
Are they super like butter, buttermilk?
They're almost like crepes, like golden brown crepes that are the size of the plate.
Right.
And then, just pour syrup on them and enjoy. And if it's my last day on Earth, it's not like I'm going to have to worry about the impact it's going to have on my digestive system tomorrow. So, you know, I can have as many of them as I want.
Let it loose.
There you go.
So as a live every day, like your last follow-up question, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Oh, I had something considerably more boring. Honey bunches of oats with trail mix from Trader Joe's in there for, you know, the protein.
Yeah.
All that.
So we start with the Sophie's Choice questions.
Let's go.
This one's going to take some concentration.
Okay.
Which alternate world would you rather live in if you had to leave this one that we're in now?
Okay.
The one that Adam Sandler is the lead singer of Maroon 5, or the one that Adam Levine stars in movies with Jennifer Aniston?
Adam Sandler is the lead singer of Maroon 5 is just a much more entertaining alternate universe to exist in.
Yeah, I think that's the one everyone would probably go with.
Definitely, because an Adam Sandler cover of Moves Like Jagger would be incredible. Incredible.
All right, which is a better conspiracy? The one that Avril Lavigne died in 2003 and was replaced by a clone named Melissa, or the one that David Bowie predicted Kanye West's birth in 1972?
David Bowie predicting Kanye West's birth.
Yeah, have you heard of both of those ones?
I had not heard. The Avril Lavigne one, I think I'd heard people allude to.
Yeah.
The David Bowie predicting Kanye West's birth, I just learned about that right now.
Yeah,
and that is my new favorite conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you should look into it. You can dive into it. It's pretty interesting.
Really? Okay, all right, cool.
I mean, it's total BS, but it's cool. All right, who's a more influential Def Jam artist, LL Cool J or Jay-Z?
Ooh, I mean, there's no Jay-Z without LL.
Yeah,
you know, so I think LL.
Yeah, that's what's the word what they say if you're, that's the diplomatic answer.
Yeah, and I love Jay.
Yeah,
and to be if you want a non-diplomatic answer, I'm not the biggest LL fan either. Like I love the Mama Said Knock You Out. I love that album. But I don't really love a whole lot of other LL records. I recognize he's a good rapper and a good songwriter, but I'm a way bigger Jay-Z fan than I am an LL fan.
Yes.
So I just have to be objective.
Yeah.
And it's definitely LL.
At my age,
I was going to also say there's an age difference.
I never even listened to Mama Said Knock You Out. Like, that was too late for me.
Really?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I was
1990 or 89.
Can't Live Without My Radio.
I bet it was like 87, 88.
Yeah, Can't Live Without My Radio and Bad. Those albums are so fresh.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I carry around my cardboard and breakdance to that. So Hollywood's optioned a script for Golem of Brooklyn, and they have 2 actors in mind for the voice of Golem. You get final say of who they are: CeeLo Green or Seth Green.
Seth Green. Easy choice, Seth Green.
Nice.
A Golem is supposed to be intimidating and like.
Wait,
nah,
Seth
CeeLo
Green's
Green
the
is
stoner, isn't he?
No, he's that redhead actor.
Oh.
Who were you thinking of? Oh, Seth
Rogen.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Yeah, Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen.
Who out of those two, Seth Green or Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen for sure.
Yeah,
you gotta go with the more like visually Jewish guy. You know what I'm saying?
What sport confuses you the most?
Ooh, that's a good one. Curling. I have no idea what that sport is or does or is
we
trying
just had a conversation
to
about
accomplish.
I love curling.
I mean, I love that people love curling. It just seems like competitive cleaning. Like there's like 2 guys with brooms, and then they roll out a piece of pottery and try to make sure it doesn't break. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's. That's kind of what it seems like.
That's what it is. Competitive cleaning. Have you ever witnessed something that could be considered a miracle?
I mean, the birth of my daughter.
Oh yeah, that one's easy.
Yeah. A lot of these answers are different since becoming a dad than they would have been like 2.5 years ago.
Sure.
But being in the nursery with my daughter right after she was born that's my happy place.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm in a tough spot or in a dark space, I go to that place every time, and just watching her grab my finger and like look around the room and become very aware and conscious of things so soon after she was born too was
it is.
That's a miracle.
A total miracle. Yeah, when you see your child born and you're like, whoa, that thing is like something we created, and that's something that's going to grow up. start doing things, having its own opinions, its own feelings, and we still call our kids its. Really? No.
You guys call it a miracle. Moms call it work.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, for sure.
Well,
For
yeah,
sure.
you're the miracle. That's the part I'm getting at. Man.
Yeah, I would like to change my answer. I would like to change my answer. It is a miracle that women are able to carry children and produce them without somewhere along the way seriously injuring their husbands or their partners. Yeah. The person who impregnated them.
Yeah. Are you superstitious?
Kind of.
Well, how on what level? Will you walk underneath a ladder?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nah. I won't walk underneath the ladder. I won't break a mirror. Although I feel like breaking a mirror, being like, that's just rude. Like, why would you break somebody's mirror? You know what I'm saying?
Salt? Do the salt thing?
What's the salt?
No, I don't have a salt thing.
You throw it over your shoulder or something?
So it's just a little level of the. What do you think? Are you daring? Like,
am I daring as a person?
Will you do shit that's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, that's not me at all.
So you would have been the type
like way too tall for that.
Yeah.
Like I'm very conspicuous. If I do something that's daring and also illegal, I'm the first guy that's getting caught.
Well, and that's what I was thinking. The reason I was wondering about that is because like walking under a ladder, I find myself sometimes going like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking do it, and I'm not really superstitious.
You will never do it.
But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to walk under a ladder.
Same.
I'll do it.
Of course you will.
I do it. I mean, like, I just slide right under it, so, like, I'm short enough that I just get right through it. Why go around when I can just get right under it?
So you have actually actively disproved the credibility of
Yes.
this. Okay.
But
I think I can walk under a ladder now. That's fine. You're the first person I've ever met who's made a habit of walking under ladders.
Well, at your height, maybe not a ladder, maybe more of like a crane.
That's true.
Just kidding.
No.
Nah, man, you're not. Trust me. I've been around enough ladders.
You guys walk under scaffolding?
Yes.
that's not a
yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, I mean, we're not
There's
going to go
no
down this lane,
superstition
really.
about scaffolding. That's the only difference. People have not been talking about scaffolding is unlucky for decades.
I don't even know where that came from, too, walking under the
Probably
ladder.
because the guy up there is going to drop something on your head.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. Well, now with OSHA rules, they ain't going anywhere near one without a helmet. So, what's the weirdest item that you keep on your bedside, like on the night table or something?
I don't know if this is weird necessarily. My iPad. I just keep the iPad there because I like to have Seinfeld episodes on in the background to help me go to sleep.
Are you a big Seinfeld fan?
I was raised on it.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, there are 3 shows that were like the event shows that me and my parents and my brothers sat down and watched. And that was one of them, with the exception of, like, I think the only time my father ever read TV Guide was to make sure that sex was not a central plot point in any of those episodes. Although watching Seinfeld was how I learned about birth control.
Oh, of course.
At the age of 7 or 8, when the diaphragm goes flying across the room. And I said, Mom, what's a diaphragm?
And did she give you the...
She could have lied. I mean, she had an out. She could have said, well, a diaphragm is the part of your body that you breathe through. You know what I'm saying? But, no.
Oh, she went for it.
Yeah, she went for it.
Nice.
She just said it. It was very clinical.
My mom's here. Mom, what is a diaphragm?
She'll tell you when you're older.
It's true because I actually don't know.
I don't really either. I think it's like an IUD.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of from what I understand.
It's an IED.
IUD?
Explosive device.
Don't confuse an IED and an IUD. That's terrible. That sounds like a terrible mistake to make.
What do you have a go-to movie when you need a mood boost?
I like Pixar movies.
Oh, yeah.
I like a lot of Pixar movies.
Oh, well, is this your first child, right? Mm-hmm. You'll be getting a lot of those.
I mean, she's already a big Coco fan. She's also really into Moana, Turning Red, Trolls, like the Trolls movie.
Oh, yeah. What I'm going to go back to a question that I was trying to... What was the question I just asked right before that?
IUD.
Oh, Seinfeld. Are you a?
I'm sorry, we went from Pixar to IUDs to Seinfeld. This is the only time that tangent has ever played out in any interview in the history of journalism.
Are you a Seinfeld, like Jerry Seinfeld fan, or just the show mostly?
Just the show.
Oh, okay.
I've tried to. I appreciate his dedication to his form is really interesting because I like what he did where, comedy moves in threes and he tends to, the punchline lands on the fourth beat as opposed to the third. Like there's a smaller punchline on the third and then the real punchline is on the fourth beat.
He's super studious about his comedy.
Yeah, so I appreciate the structure and the crafting of it, but the actual material is not for me.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to see it, if you were, because I just saw the trailer for the Pop-Tart movie. And it actually looks pretty good.
Okay, I got to check that out.
Movie?
Yeah, so it's he wrote a script during the pandemic, and he's in it, and it's about Pop-Tarts, about the race from Kellogg's and whoever the other company was. What about, Pixar. How many languages can you say hello in?
I'd never thought of this question before. I think 5.
Oh. What are they?
Hola, bonjour, hello, shalom, aloha.
Oh, you did aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
In
So I think
Samoa,
that's
they
fine.
say talofa.
Talofa. Now you know another one.
I prefer talofa,
Yeah.
actually.
Did you ever know anyone who had their jaw wired shut?
Ooh. Nah, not to my recollection. Some people should have.
Well, I brought. There's a lyric in one of your songs, and I heard that someone said you're about to get your jaw wired shut. But I think it was it doesn't matter. But I brought that up to my kids yesterday, or to my family yesterday, and they were saying some people got it wired shut to not eat. That was a thing that they did back in the day.
That's crazy.
I knew a kid got punched by this baseball kid, and that was why he broke his whole head open. So they wired his jaw shut from that. Of all the people I know 2 people got their wired jaw shut. Both of them were from fighting. That's why it was interesting that people said it was from eating or
Well,
something else.
that was me, the secretary at our junior high. She got it wired shut so that she could only drink meals
Wow.
to lose weight.
Damn. That's
I don't know
extreme.
why I know that.
I don't think they do that anymore.
I guess I was in the office a lot.
Now you can just take a pill for it.
That's true, I guess.
You know the story of how DMX got signed to Def Jam, though, is that Leor Cohen heard him recording with his jaw wired shut and could hear the wires popping.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Like as he was recording, because his performance was that intense.
Yeah.
And then they gave him like a $5 million.
Oh, I didn't know that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was reading. You got some pretty mad knowledge on hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
Is that your number one? Like, what would be your most favorite? Like, well, I'll save that for favorites and that. What would be your role on a reality TV show? The partier or the villain or
The host.
That's an easier gig.
I'm not divisive enough of a person. I don't think I could intentionally be a villain or anything like that. I'm not smart enough or strategic enough to win, so might as well just make me a host.
Do you mind, like, do you like to be good to people? I mean, I imagine you do. I guess what I'm getting at is it would be hard, I know personally, for me to be the villain because I don't like to make people feel bad or feel shitty.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I imagine that.
I'm the same way.
What's the first thing you notice about someone when you first meet them?
Do they maintain eye contact when I say hello to them?
Yeah.
That's probably one.
That's going to suck right here because I'm going to not be maintaining eye contact.
No. That's different. You maintained eye contact when we met before we started recording, so it's all good. That's definitely one.
Oh, that's a good one. You will immediately. You know what's even weird about that, too, is you're so tall, so everyone has to look up towards you mostly.
I try to angle down, I try to help people out.
Yeah. That's been something you've done your whole. How tall are you? 6'3"?
I'm 6'6".
Did you play basketball or anything?
Nah, but both of my younger brothers I'm the oldest of 3 sons, and both of my brothers play college basketball.
Yeah.
So one is currently in the G League, which is the NBA's development league, playing basketball for Stockton Kings, the Sacramento Kings team. And then my other brother played ball in college and was on the same team as the kid who set the scoring record for college basketball, which was 138 points in one game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, and my brother had the second highest amount of points on his team with 13.
Yeah, because the other guy had 100.
The other guy had 138, but my brother tells people that he and this dude combined for over 150 points in one game, and nobody can question it because mathematically it's true.
Yeah.
You just don't have to tell who did the majority of the scoring.
Yeah, that's funny. And I know that's not even an original question when someone's telling you, like, oh, did you play basketball?
But it is obvious, and it's even more interesting that you didn't.
Well, and I don't even like talking about basketball in the city of Chicago because this city has stole 2 titles from me.
Stolen implies they were yours to begin with, sir.
They were always the Jazzes.
No, they were not. If they
Jazz
were
never
the
deserved it.
Jazzes, the Jazz would have won.
Yeah, they
both
never
times.
deserved it. The Jazz never deserves it.
Alas.
If there was a place, restaurant, or bar, is there a place or a restaurant or bar somewhere that you always try to turn people on to?
Not necessarily. So there's a supermarket down the street from my job, Pete's Fresh Market, which is like a local grocery store chain. And for whatever reason, some of the best steak tacos are made at their hot bar. And I can't explain why that is. But I always try to, like, if you're in the near western suburbs, which is where I live and where I grew up, I always tell people to stop there and get 3 tacos.
Fresh
from
made
Pete's.
right there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they
that's
carve the meat off the thing too.
Yeah, in the UK, people love the kebab shops because they do. It's like that's the joint. That's where you get the best. You get the best everything.
Yeah.
There's heart in it in what they're making. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy behind the counter likes people all that much.
Oh.
But maybe that's what makes the food taste better.
Right.
You know.
It's focusing on the food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You go on the. Yeah, you go in. It's like you go. Well, fuck, never mind. I was gonna say you go to a barber because you can cut your hair or you can talk, whichever one. With the barber I had, he wasn't great, but it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't even go to him anymore. But anyway, sorry, I'm running on a tangent. What were you most scared of when you were growing up?
Vampires.
Oh shit!
Vampires.
That's wild.
You know how I was introduced to them? My mom read me a children's book about a bunch of ducks that it was like a pretend vampire. Like they weren't even real vampires, but all I needed to know was what a vampire was at like 4 or 5 years old, and every creek in that house was a damn vampire for the rest of my childhood.
Oh, no one told you the story where they had to be invited in?
No, nobody told me. Nobody.
Shit, you got left. They left a whole bunch of information out on you.
They really did. All I needed to know was the whole blood sucking part, and then. But what I will say is that it turns out at the end of the book, it was like a mystery or something like that the vampires weren't actual vampires. And yet I still believe that vampires were real. Like I was looking at people's teeth and everything. Like, I don't trust you. Was
it traumatic enough that like now you still get a little bit of unease with vampires?
Nah,
okay.
I think now that I'm older and because I used to hate horror movies like well into my 20s, used to scare me. But now I look at them like I look at science fiction, where it's just metaphoric in some cases. In other cases, it's just gore for the sake of gore.
Yeah.
And sometimes that could be fun watching it, as long as it's not like sadistic.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that because Rich was scared of witches and you're scared of vampires.
Yep.
And yeah, that's where were you raised?
I was raised in River Forest, which is a suburb, probably like 10 minutes from the city limits. Like I grew up 10 minutes down Chicago Avenue from the west side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the type of place that really all you have to be afraid of is vampires?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Very dark woods, all that. They named it after the things that are in the town. So a river and a forest. Correct.
Who would you make a better collaboration album with? Adam MC Yao or Adam Dose One Drucker?
Dose One. Dose One for sure. And with no disrespect to Adam Yauch and the Beastie Boys and all that, but Dose One, I would have to do the best rapping of my entire life. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have to step up. Personally, yeah, well.
No, I would definitely need to step it up. Dose One is fire.
Yeah.
He's very good at what he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you typically do when you're bored?
Watch like TV shows or eat junk food or write stuff, you know, like I try not to stay too idle. So if I'm bored, I'm trying to create something or consume something, and typically the healthiest forms of consumption for me when I'm bored are reading or watching film and TV.
So will you consider, how often do you write? Like how often are you writing?
Daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even just watching a television show, or you consider everything as part of you're taking in, you're making observations that'll end up in your writing.
For sure.
Yeah.
In some cases. In other cases, it's like I've had to determine the difference between things I consume for entertainment purposes and then things I consume because it pushes my art forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not watching Catfish, the TV show,
Yeah.
in order to write a rhyme.
Right.
Like that's not happening.
Sure.
you know?
But something might end up happening in there that you learn.
That's true. That's true. You do learn a lot about humanity from watching that show. That's true.
Was there a signature dish in your household as a kid?
Ooh. So my mom had like a rotation of meals that she made when we were growing up that were pretty good. There was like an Italian meatloaf that was really good. That was a signature for sure. And then holidays, like for Passover, which I think is coming up very soon. My mom used to make this brisket. It was like the only thing she made that I didn't really like. And it was because it was like, it adhered to a really old family recipe that my dad really liked, but I didn't understand why he liked it because I was like, there's no seasoning in this recipe. There's nothing in this recipe that requires seasoning. Everything else that my mom has ever made is amazing and wonderful, and I have no complaints. And even the brisket itself that I wasn't necessarily a fan of, she put a lot of time and effort into it. So I don't want to be dismissive of it, but that's I would say like the Italian meatloaf would be the good one, and then the brisket not as much. Yeah.
And she just stuck with a recipe.
My dad preferred it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the story of that?
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
Were you talking to me?
There was he had heard the story some time back. I think it was on the internet because I think his sister-in-law also saw it, but the people, the family, they made the ham every year this way. It had to be this way, and you had to cut off the ends of the ham no matter what. And
the families for years served this ham with the ends cut off.
She asks, like, why did Grandma, or like, why do we have to cut off the ends of the ham? That doesn't make any sense. And she goes, I don't know, go ask Grandma. And Grandma was like, because it didn't fit in the pan.
So for generations and generations, these families have been cooking the same ham. For some reason, they cut off the ends of the ham. They had no idea why.
But it had
they
to
just
be done.
did, but it had to be.
So it was a tradition born from pragmatism.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe they were just out of those spices when your dad was young.
That's what it has to be that. I really hope it's that. I really hope it's that.
Where would you time travel to, the past or the future?
The future.
Well, what do you suppose you would, what would you want to get out of that?
I want to see what my daughter's going to be like.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that.
That's cool.
I want to see that.
Yeah, because then you could make some adjustments. What fictional family would you most like to join?
Ooh, that's a good one. What fictional family would I most like to? That's tough. The Simpsons?
Oh.
So I could, you know, it seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, would you be one of the children?
Apart from the whole getting strangled by my dad.
Yeah. You would be one of the children, not the. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be Homer. No, I don't think I got that. My ego is not resilient enough to be Homer Simpson.
Whose music are you excited to share with others?
People like Rich, friends of mine for sure, from Chicago, independent underground hip hop artists. I think most recently, artists who identify as women, non-binary, trans artists as well. I've been trying to kind of unpack my own ignorance.
Sure.
By listening to music from people who speak from that perspective.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
There's a rapper named Aloe Vera from New York who's really dope.
Hey yo, I'm having Mao Zedong fun. I'm fixing to kill my landlord. Stuff his busy bones under the baseboards. Cause it's the first of the month and I ain't got rent. I spent the payment on a painting. It was a portrait of a full belly. I won't Social exposure almost daily. How I'm supposed to eat off a feature at an open mic? Don't have time for some dark comedy, dog.
There's a rapper from here named Joshua Virtue, who's really dope.
Fails to question newly emerged precarious wealth. Busy easing through amalgamated layers of self. Anchored in my dwelling. Holy Father, consecrate the body Rama built. Raising tendrils of organic mass. Carbon, ash. In exact approximations of the intersecting future now and past. Faceless, placeless.
Like, there are just so many artists in that community that I think I've been very negligent in doing my research, but they're very talented, can rap their asses off. So
yeah, I think probably not just yourself. Most people have been pretty negligent on it, and it is. You can sort of feel it. There's a palpable feeling right now of there's a move to learn to take more part in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even me as a listener, I've been way more. I've always liked something that was different, but I've been way more open. Kind of, because I am still stuck with I only want to listen to what I listen to. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's good for you. What would you rather last? What would you rather last longer, your money or your memory?
Ooh. Well, I got a kid, so my money.
Yeah, but
definitely my money.
Yeah, to take.
I would love for my memory to be that, but just from a practical standpoint, my money for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because the memory part is probably more selfish. That's just for yourself. The money will help. Yeah, that's a good answer.
And I got a lot of photos and videos on my phone too, so the memories are collected somewhere.
Yeah, awesome. What advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
Ooh, stop taking yourself so seriously. That would definitely be one.
Was that an issue for you? Was that an issue for you growing up?
Yeah.
How on what level? Did you not enjoy shit because everything had to be so serious?
Nah, it was more a case of I got bullied when I was in grade school, and I didn't know how to fight back. I didn't know how to come up with good jokes or I knew how to defend my little brothers, when people tried to pick on them, but I didn't know how to defend myself.
Right.
So I just constantly took myself way too seriously. I couldn't take a joke. My assumption was always that anybody who was trying to roast me, even if it was a love language kind of thing, I always took it too seriously and too personally. And that carried well into my 20s. And I think ultimately it blocked a lot of my blessings. And also it'd probably be get your money together. Would also be open a savings account and put money in it and don't return to it.
Do you think that though that behavior on the with the way taking yourself so serious, do you think that gave you the chip on your shoulder that maybe you needed to get through the initial starting of becoming an MC and setting your ground? And
yeah, I think it gave me confidence. It was this is the one area of my life that I know I'm good at.
Yeah.
So you can't, and that's the kind of mentality you need if you're in a cypher, and if you're meeting people and performing at open mics for the first time, is you need to have a mentality that's you can't mess with me.
Yeah.
At all. So even if what I'm about to rap is whack, you're not going to tell me that to my face.
This was just coming to mind when you were talking about that. I haven't been to a cypher. Have you been to a cypher recently, a battle rap recently?
Ooh, rap battle. I went to a rap battle in January, I think. I went to a rap battle event here, but it wasn't tournament style. It was the more modern format, so people who have time to write, people who get paid to do it, where it's kind of head-to-head slam poetry, only way more degrading and disrespectful. But yeah, I'm really into battle rap, and I'm a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. The fact that Dibs is here is really cool for me because I grew up on Scribble Jam battles on YouTube or pre-YouTube, wherever I could find them. So this is I'm a huge nerd when it comes to that.
And I've asked him about battle raps, about Scribble Jam coming back, and if it would work, the battle raps. Both he and I tend to think It'd be hard. This is only because I haven't been to a battle rap. But
And
the
it's
shit that they
because
would
you're
say, yeah, it's because, because the shit they would say at battle rap back then, you don't want to be saying that shit now.
Yeah, I mean, they still say it, though.
Oh, do they? Well, I was
Yeah.
wondering if there's a little more creativity now because you do want to, you got to be a little more thoughtful about what you're saying. Yeah, I guess you don't have to be, but.
I think some people are, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I think there are other people where it's like, this is the last bastion of, I don't have to be involved in cancer, which I think is bullshit anyway. But,
Sure.
people who are like, oh, I can say what I want here, but then they suck. Because they're not actually good. They're not creative. They're just like, you're falling back on the same tropes that people have been using forever.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept to me. All right, I got your drawing mostly drawn out. We'll get into your first, worst, and thirsts.
Okay.
So here, let me do my script to it. Okay, thanks again, everyone, for joining us on our show. Now let's hash it out. Time for you to serve up your dishes with our segment, The Dish, First, Worst, and Thirsts.
Dope.
All right, your first pet.
My parents had a dog named Zach when I was growing up.
What kind of dog was it?
I don't even know. I think she followed my dad home from work on a regular basis, and then eventually he just kept her because she was pretty old by the time I was born, but that was the first pet I knew.
How do you feel about dogs with human names? Do you have a feeling towards that?
What about fish? There's also fish around here with human names.
How do you feel about pets with human names? Like, do you have any issues against it? It's kind of nice, but it's...
I think I need a little more time to process the question. I don't think you should ever name a dog like Trevor. You know what I'm saying?
Trevor.
Or like Cornelius. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I do think, like, you know, if you're going to give a dog a name, there are some dogs where you can give them human names and name them after people or characters, and I think it's fine. Honestly, it's not my pet. It's not my business.
Yeah, that's true.
The answer I should have gone with.
It's not your circus. It's not your. We learned a new one. They're not your monkeys. It's not your circus.
Correct, and that goes doubly true for real monkeys as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, actual pet monkeys.
Yeah,
for sure. Just to connect it back to
my monkey.
I knew a dog that I used to call Old Man Face.
Oh yeah. Who also had a human name of Benji.
Oh yeah, Benji's not really a human name. That's because there's a movie with the dog called Benji.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I knew a Benji.
I did too. I went to school. He was the best football player on our team.
Well, I had
His
a
name was
cat
Benji.
named Albert.
You did have a cat named Albert. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Sorry. What was the first concert you went to?
The Black Star Reunion Tour with Jean Grey, Pharoah Monch, and the opening act was Kanan, who wound up doing Wave Your Flag, and who's from Somalia, who is now like, and I think he's a multi-millionaire now.
Oh, wow.
From his music royalties, but yeah, he was the opening act.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That was in Chicago?
At House of Blues, Chicago.
Oh,
K9.
nice.
Yeah.
Kanan.
Awesome. K''Naan.
Oh,
Kanan.
okay.
Oh, Kanan. Yeah, cool. We used to know this artist, this MC named Shy Ill.
Yeah. Who didn't actually meet Babe Ruth.
No, sorry, I said that in the last one. He spelled it Shy YLL, but not really. That was Buck 65's very first rap name. He told us on our show.
Buck 65 is one of the coolest rap names. So.
Yeah,
it was a good change. That was a good change.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
J-Lo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, I see that. That's a weird one. No.
I was born in 89, so that was the Money Train era.
She still looks great.
Yeah, she still does.
Because she's not, it's not real. Her and Avril Lavigne died in a plane crash, and that's her clone. I'm trying to start a rumor. What was your first car?
I've actually never owned a car myself. It's always been the only two cars I ever was on the insurance plan for were my daughter's mom's car. So the first one, I guess, that I was on the insurance for was a 2008 silver Volkswagen Jetta Wolfsburg edition. I think was because we wound up selling it, so we had to know. But Volkswagen Wolfsburg that just two German names very close together to one another. It sounds very intimidating to me.
Yeah, and Volkswagen, that's what Rich went to. Do you have your driver's license then?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, okay. What was your first paying job?
Babysitting is the boring answer. But I also was sorting files at my old middle school, like in a dusty ass attic, just listening to The Love Below by Andre 3000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that worked out for you in the long run.
It did.
Yeah.
I would like to picture the attic looking like the one from The Neverending Story. You up there in the school attic.
It was kind of it was kind of like a very dusty, like creepy ass attic for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
the Chicago schools are different.
They are.
Here, yeah.
Then you always point that out when we're in them. What's the first movie that really scared you?
Seven.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically the part where they're like, they have the flashlight over the guy that they think is dead.
And he comes alive.
And then he takes that deep breath. Like, I saw that my freshman year of high school, and I ran out the classroom.
Yeah.
Like,
that's intense.
I was out.
Yeah, with all of the trees hanging in the room, whatever trees, the air things. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a really great answer. First person you idolized?
Malcolm X.
Oh, nice. First movie cry?
Mufasa dying in Lion King.
Oh, was that Rich's answer too?
That was Rich's Lion King too.
Who's the first famous person you ever met?
Wyclef Jean from the Fugees, who was actually very nice. He was like very nice and very patient, because I went up and got his autograph, and then my little brother was too scared to ask for his autograph, so I had to go back again and ask him for an autograph for my little brother, and he was really nice.
That's good. That should just be cool to people when they meet you, because it sticks with people forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
a good move. What was your first pseudonym or nickname?
Adman. I was
Adman?
like Adman, because my name is Adam. So yeah, everybody. I think my aunts and uncles called me Adman, and just kept calling me that.
Yeah, I'm man. What's the first thing you bought on credit?
Groceries.
Oh,
No?
Yeah. First run-in with the law.
All right, so there are two stories. So there's a 911 call. They're like, I was such a stupid kid. I was so stupid. I called 911 at the VFW where my extended family had these annual like reunion retreats, right? I called 911, they showed up, they were like, don't do it again. And my parents were like, don't do it again. So I was like, okay, I won't do it again. And then the same place, the same time, the following summer, I did that shit again. And they showed up and they were like, next time y'all call 911, we're just not gonna come. It was like in the middle of the country. They were like, we're just not gonna come. But my parents were really mad. And so I guess, but that's not really a run-in with the law. I think I was in Philadelphia when I was like 20, and I was smoking a Black and Mild outside, because that's what I did when I was 20. And I pitched it, and a Philadelphia cop pulled up and was like, what did you just throw behind there? And I was like, it was Black and Mild. And he was like, why the fuck did you do that? And I had my hands in my pockets, and he was like, why the fuck are your hands in your pockets? And I like put my hands up, and the dude was clearly fucking with me just because he thought it was funny, but that was
it was not funny at all.
Yeah, nah.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's.
I don't have very positive things to say about that particular occupation. Keep it to myself.
First rapper you heard that set the wheels in motion for you?
Black Rob, rest in peace.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, because it was on the radio. So that's what made me, hearing him rap was the first thing that made me want to write a rap when I was 11 years old.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
First time you got punched in the face?
It was like one of those inflatable bouncy castles.
Oh, no.
It was like a back-to-school event at college. And I got in there with my friend who could actually fight, and I got in there like, oh, it's these big cartoonish gloves. Like, I'll be fine. He like 2-piece me, 3-piece, 4. It was like, he was like Roberto Duran in there. Like, I was eating those punches, but I stayed on my feet. That was the first and only time I'd ever been punched in the face.
Well, at least it was in that scenario,
Nobody
not a different one.
Nobody else can reach it.
Yeah,
that's right.
He was a tall dude. He was very tall.
Let's go into your worst now. What's the worst sound?
Nails on the chalkboard.
Oh yeah, that's a bad one. What's the worst word?
Any epithet that's used to degrade somebody based on something that they cannot control.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the worst human advancement?
Anything that could be used to exploit human beings or render us like irrelevant. Or anything that could be used to exploit as many people and resources as possible.
Sounds like an AI
short amount of time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Fuck that.
Corporate, yeah.
Who's the worst teacher you ever had?
Mrs. Schroeder.
Oh,
third grade social studies teacher.
Yeah.
I got perfect scores on the geography test, but I have ADHD, as I'm sure you could tell from the fact that I keep watching who's walking past this damn window. And so I just didn't pay a lot of attention in her class. So she actually told my parents I wasn't going to amount to anything when I grew up.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
I was in the third grade.
That was really nice of her.
I got perfect scores on all my geography tests, too. Like, I knew where every state was. I knew where all the capital cities were, but because I didn't pay attention in her class.
She took it personally.
Yes.
I know. What was her name?
Mrs. Schroeder.
Yeah, we know. You know how we feel about you.
I don't think she's around anymore.
And I was trying to think. I have a teacher named Mrs. something. I'm sure my mom doesn't remember, but we blew up the window off the school of her classroom with the dry ice bomb. She didn't like me.
But what did she do to earn you blowing the window off?
She was not a nice person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. See, that's what I say. As a teacher, whenever I find out that students do something wild, like to a teacher, I always ask what the teacher did first.
Yeah, it's usually something.
It's typically the teacher starts it.
Aren't you a teacher?
I am a teacher. Yeah, I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah. What's the worst candy?
Candy corn.
Oh, yeah, it's stupid candy. You love them.
I love them.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
I love anything with sugar unless it's black licorice.
Which is really delicious. My favorite.
Okay. All right. I respect it.
It's fine. No offense taken.
Okay.
What was your worst ever Halloween costume?
I was a boxer. And what boxer meant was I wore basketball shorts and a T-shirt and sneakers and boxing gloves.
That was it.
And that made me a boxer.
Hey, that worked.
That was the last time I trick-or-treated.
Well, it's better than some of my cringy-ass costumes I used to wear. What's the worst condiment?
Mayonnaise.
Oh, you're not a mayo.
Nah.
Okay.
I did it too much when I was a kid, and now I can't. Ugh. I just can't. Even the thought of putting it on a sandwich is not.
Oh, yeah. My friend used to joke about me. He said that I used to put a little bit of tuna fish in my mayonnaise with my tuna fish sandwich. I love mayo.
Mayonnaise sandwiches.
What's the worst job you ever had?
So I don't know if this is the worst job, but the most difficult for sure. I've been really lucky in that I haven't really had any bad jobs. I've had difficult jobs.
Yeah.
So I taught rap and poetry workshops with another rapper from Chicago who's very talented and a very good dude, Lamont Manuel. And we taught in the juvenile detention center once a week. And that was the toughest.
Yeah.
Easily. It was like the best work I think I'll ever do as an educator, but also the most difficult.
Probably super fulfilling when it works, but probably very difficult.
It was like I had survivor's remorse leaving that job every day.
Yeah.
I would have like panic attacks on the way in and then survivor's remorse on the way out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's tough.
But the successes, like you said, were like major every time.
What's the worst kid's toy?
iPads.
Oh, great, yeah. What's the worst smell?
Moldy food. It's the only smell that like makes me retch involuntarily.
Don't smell this fongusea that we have.
Yeah, I keep that sea cucumber away from me, man.
What's the worst gift you ever received?
I don't think I have like a worse gift. I think I've been pretty. Probably like a dictionary or something. I don't know. I feel like I have a great aunt or uncle who thought that would be a great Christmas gift.
I would be that aunt.
That's true.
Every year I'm like, let's buy the kids books.
Yeah, they love that. What's the worst movie?
The Room.
What is it?
The Room.
Oh, I never watched it, but it must be bad.
I went to like a midnight showing of it at the Music Box Theater, which was an amazing experience, but what a terrible movie.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely awful.
What's the worst flavor?
Unseasoned chicken.
Oh. Yeah, that's like eating air.
Yes.
What's the worst injury you've ever suffered?
I dislocated my shoulder having an argument with somebody. So not even a fight, but like I was trying to make a point, and I was slamming my fist down on the table to make a point, and my shoulder went.
Yeah.
And it just popped out. It was like instant karma because I was definitely doing way too much.
Yeah. I like you took the worst part being how you got the injury being the worst, not the actual injury itself being the worst.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's the worst way to die?
Slowly.
Yeah, true. What's the worst food combo?
Sushi burrito.
Oh, you don't like that, huh?
That does sound weird.
I had one. I tried one. Well, I've only tried it once, and the one time I tried it was horrible. Like I didn't. Typically, I'll finish food, just because I feel guilty if
But
I
it's
don't.
a lot of rice in them, right?
It was bland. It had no flavor. It was terrible.
Are
Yeah.
there beans in that?
No,
No, it's
thankfully.
made
So
like a
it's
burrito.
hand-
Yeah, it's like a hand rolled sushi.
Sushi, okay.
Yeah,
It's beans and cheese.
abomination.
What's the worst thing to post on social media?
Graphic violence.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
I do too.
Yeah. All right, let's go into your favorites, and then we'll get out of here. Well, favorite famous duo.
Now it's I'm really excited for Chicago Sky basketball after the WNBA draft. So Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. What's the favorite gift you ever got as a kid?
Iron Flag by Wu-Tang. So this is like 2001. My cousin got it for me, the edited version, because I was 12.
Oh yeah.
But that was my first Wu-Tang album, and I know it's not a very popular one, but it's definitely important to me for
Yeah,
sure.
and that's all that matters if it was important to you.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite month?
October.
Oh yeah. Oh,
October's a good one here.
Yeah.
It's when all the vampires come out.
That's right.
Early October.
Yeah.
Early specifically.
Do you have a favorite Tarantino movie?
I would say it's a three-way tie between Jackie Brown, Inglourious Bastards, and Kill Bill. Although my feelings on Tarantino have changed considerably as I've gotten older.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I'm feeling you. What's your favorite cereal?
Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah.
I can't really eat it anymore, but I liked it.
It tears the shit out of your mouth.
Yeah, it does. And then honorable mention is Oreo O's. I remember eating those growing up and really enjoying
We never
them.
got that at home, Mom. What kind of cereal did we get? Fucking cornflakes or some shit.
It wasn't out. I don't think it was out when you were a kid,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was gone before I became an adult.
Wait a minute. What was your favorite place to sit in your home?
In front of a desk and a Bluetooth speaker writing.
Yeah, nice. Who's your favorite celebrity right now?
Dawn Staley, the coach of the South Carolina women's basketball team.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She just seems like a very good person that has very good taste in Louis Vuitton leather coats that she wears on the sidelines of games. So I respect that.
Nice. Favorite creature of the sea?
Turtle.
Oh, yeah, sea turtle. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Favorite album now?
A Love Supreme by John Coltrane.
Nice.
But that's my all-time
That's
favorite
the one
album.
forever.
Yeah.
Favorite late night snack?
This is probably one of the corniest suburban dad things about me, but I really like those almond butter pretzel bites from Trader Joe.
Oh, I don't even know if we had them.
They're like really good. They come in an orange bag. Those are my jam.
That's
It's
it.
like probably like the peanut butter ones.
Will you go? Is it like come in a bag?
Yeah, an orange bag.
Will you bury the bag like one sitting?
Yes, which is a problem.
That's what I am with Ritz.
Yeah.
I eat a whole roll of Ritz. I'm like, oh fuck, and it's like 1 a.m. I'm like, I think I'm gonna just open one more. I'll eat half of those.
Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies too.
Oh,
like anything
yeah.
that comes in a roll.
Yeah, it's
goes,
on.
and then you don't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite comedian?
All time, probably early Chappelle.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room, stand-up special. Has some of my favorite comedy I've ever seen in my life. I really like that. And then now I like Ali Wong and Ralph Barbosa.
Nice.
I like those two.
Yeah, those are good. Favorite member of NWA?
Cube. Ice
Yeah,
Cube.
big Cube fan. Favorite member of Wu-Tang?
Ghostface.
Word. You have a favorite children's show?
Sesame Street.
Yeah, the best.
Yep.
The best one ever.
I agree.
Do you have a favorite toy as a kid?
My Fisher-Price basketball hoop, which I broke repeatedly because I was dunking on it, and I was way too
course.
tall and heavy to be dunking on it.
And then your brothers turned out to be the basketball stars.
Correct.
Because you broke it.
Because I broke it, yeah. They had to shoot on a real hoop, and they got good at it.
Your favorite topic to talk about?
Rap, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Favorite reality show?
Catfish, the TV show.
Oh, yeah. Favorite cartoon from when you were a kid?
Batman, the animated series.
Oh, yeah. I was too old for that.
It's a
My
classic.
son loved that.
Yeah, he
it's
did.
a classic.
Favorite album when you were younger?
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Great album.
Like Water for Chocolate by Common, or The Carnival by Wyclef Jean.
Yeah.
One of those three.
Yeah, that's good. Aside from where you grew up, what's your favorite city in America?
Well, I grew up in the suburbs, so technically I'm not from Chicago. I'm from River Forest, so
You
Chicago
can
is
say
my
Chicago.
favorite city
Awesome.
in America.
You found the workaround. You found the loophole.
I did.
Do you have a favorite word?
Rhythm.
Good one. Yeah. And then your final one, what's your favorite dish?
That's hard, man. I like food in general, as long as like I don't do dairy or pork. But other than that, I like pretty much anything. So I don't know. Chicken sandwich and fries. I don't know. Chicken sandwich and fries. 49er flapjacks I mentioned earlier.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's hard. It's hard to come up with one. But
We'll take those. We'll just put some chicken in between some 49er flapjacks. And
that sounds like a Rich Jones special right there.
It's on.
There we go.
All right. Well, we've been served, and I'm stuffed. Check, please.
Dishes are done, man. Cleans them down to the shop.
Thanks for joining us so much on the show. It's fantastic having you sit here with us, and we really appreciate it. For any new listeners to you, what album or what music do you want them to start with?
Trapdoor by myself and Messiah Music, and For All Debts Public and Private by myself and Boathouse. The Golem of Brooklyn soundtrack, I like that one too, but it pairs very well with the novel. So if you don't want to have to read anything in addition, I would go with those two albums.
Okay, cool. And then what's in the near future for you?
The Letter of the Day is L is an album I'm coming out with this year. The Light That Was There with Golden Beats, fully producing it, who's a producer from the Pacific Northwest, and just rapping, really. I'm just trying to, this summer, really just trying to hit the ground running.
Awesome.
Just rap.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people to stay up to date on your moves?
Social media, Defcee, DEFCEE on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not on TikTok or Snapchat because I'm 34 years old.
Yeah, is that too old or too young?
I think I might have aged out of it. Not to judge anybody who's my age or older who's on those platforms, because I think that they're a lot of fun. But I think for myself, I have a full-time job and a kid, so I think I had to pick two and stick with them.
Won't be too long until your kids turn you on into those apps. My kids turned me on to TikTok, and now they both don't have TikTok accounts anymore.
They're smarter than you are.
I stuck around.
But that's the hope, right? Is that the kids wind up outsmarting you at a certain point.
All right, to complete the arc of our episodes, I ask you, keeping with this theme of the, this being your last day on the planet, how do you expect you're going to end up going out?
I don't know.
You expect or want to?
Either way, how do you want to, or how do you expect?
I don't necessarily know. I think again, it's one of those where it's like having a kid kind of changed that. I don't even want to think about that.
Exactly.
No, it is a hard one.
It does. It changes
hard.
everything.
Yeah,
you stop riding your motorcycles. You stop doing all the fun shit.
I was riding a lot of motorcycles. I was not riding any motorcycles. I'm too top heavy for that.
You stopped fighting in bouncy houses.
Yeah, that's true. I did stop fighting in bouncy houses. That's true.
All right, man. It was a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Maybe you finally say, okay, I'm going to walk under that ladder. I'll be fine. And then they drop.
Can someone bring in a ladder? Let's do this right here, right now.
I don't think any ladder I could walk underneath to fit in this gallery, but I would respect the attempt.
And then they drop the thing, and then that's how you go out.
Oh, something falls on his head under the ladder.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
All full circle.
Yep, that's how we do it over here. All right, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, everybody. That's the DOD45 Show with Defcee. Peace.
Appreciate it. Peace.
Yeah, hit the train like the old west. Air smelling like phone sex. Sunrise swimming with gold flecks. Lately the Lord's giving less than he's taking. Cause my life's a movie and all he does is to take it.
Thank you so much, Defcee. Thanks for your time. Thank you, everyone, for showing up in the live audience. That was a lot of fun. He was a great guest. All three of our guests were really great that day. You'll see the Nightwalker episode later. What you're looking at below is the finished drawing that I did for Defcee. Like I mentioned earlier, I really enjoyed Defcee's album, or I really enjoy Defcee's album, The Golem of Brooklyn. So this drawing is based off The Golem of Brooklyn. The book of the same name. If you're a reader, it's probably something you would definitely want to go look into. If you're new to this show, this drawing is as much as I could get done during our conversation. And then I added some color and some details to this drawing later. Okay, there you go. There's the drawing. I hope you enjoy it. You can get prints of it actually through DOD45.com or ArtByTai.com if you're so interested. All right, let's wrap up with some recommendations. Let me do a movie share real quick because I love movies so much. I just want to keep sharing independent movies. I'm going to try to keep these to independents. This one's an independent movie. It's called The Lobster. Even though it is an independent movie, it does have Colin Farrell in it, and but it's still considered an independent movie. It's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and it stars Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz. I don't particularly seek out Rachel Weisz movies, but she's really good in this. You've probably seen it, but if you haven't and you enjoy the bizarre, eccentric, outside of the box kind of movies, this is a real gem of a movie. I don't remember if you watched it, Adrian. Did you?
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, that's true. It's a really weird, but really great movie. John C. Reilly's in it. It's a kind of.
I don't even know who Colin Farrell is.
He's the Irish guy in Bruges. He's the brown-haired actor.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good in this, and he plays just like a really bizarre kind of guy. But like I was saying, John C. Reilly has a small part in it, and in typical John C. Reilly fashion, he totally shines and kind of steals the movie. No, he doesn't steal the movie, but he totally shines. That's a dude that's pretty special in my book because I don't know, he's just so good. It's some of the most clever writing ever, way more clever than my simple brain can fathom. But not so heavy and clever that I couldn't enjoy it. Colin plays a sad guy named David in a dystopian society. His wife leaves him after 11 years of marriage, so he's sent to a hotel. It's a singles hotel out in the countryside. And the strict hotel rules are meant in a clinical fashion to foster love, as everyone in society, straight or gay, is to be paired up romantically. So that's what the basis of the movie is. And there are harsh punishments for anyone who breaks the rules at this place. And like the others, if David, Colin Farrell, if he doesn't find love at the hotel within 45 days, he'll be surgically transformed into the animal of his choice. Can you guess which animal he surgically?
A lobster.
So that's the gist of the plot. If that sounds too bizarre for you, then maybe skip this movie. But if that intrigues you at all, it goes even further down the strangeness, and I feel like it's absolutely worth the time to watch. So if you find yourself scrolling and your mind needs some peppering, spice it up with The Lobster. The 2 hours movie is way better than spending 2 hours of scrolling. So check that out, please. Adrian, do you have a song share?
Oh, do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Please.
Declan McKenna's British Bombs. Which we listen to a lot on our UK playlist.
Declan McKenna. Declan McKenna.
I know. That's why I had to read it.
McKenna. Yeah.
Is it Declan?
No. What'd you say? Declan. It's Declan.
Oh.
Declan McKenna. Jeez. I'm not looking at. I was like trying to picture what you were reading. Yeah.
I'm also trying to picture what I'm reading.
Cool song. Yeah, we did listen to that a lot. We built a whole playlist.
Declan?
Yeah, I believe it's Declan. I believe it's pronounced Declan, but I'm not certain of that. But
British names.
Yeah.
Because Declan is kind of interesting in and of itself.
Yeah, I'm almost certain it's Declan. I've heard someone named Declan before. No, it's a great. That's a good track. That's a good track. My song share is a song called Too Slow by the Palmer Squares featuring Jarve.
In the middle, too slow. Ha, theoretically illiterate, literally hypothetical. Chemical dependency, the referee is giving me a double technical. Get better, ain't nobody better. Whether in the sunny weather, pen and open letter. Been alone forever, be alone, me and being lonesome, hella go together. The abominable diabolical, it's a monopoly. I got a monocle, been to the bottom, beating with the bottom feeders. The lobotomy is not a reason to cry, finally.
They're also Chicago based as well. I really dig the hook in the song, and the verse deliveries in there are really interesting to me. I don't really know much about these guys, but this song's been in like so many of my playlists for years. I really like the song. So if you like my song suggestion or Adrian's song suggestion, they're all in this whole playlist that we have out on Spotify called DOD45 Loves, LUVS. You can listen to all these songs that we've shared on all our past episodes. They're all, I feel like, I stand by every single song. I listen to this playlist often. There's one song on there that I kind of wish I didn't add.
Oh, it's the one that you added and not me?
Yeah, it's a good song, but like when it comes on, I'm like, I skip it. But the point is, if you like any of the music on there, please go support the musician that made the music that you like in that playlist through their Bandcamps or whatever else. We'll wrap out with this unless you have any. This is just administrative stuff. There's things come up off the top of my head while I'm reading through these or even going through these, so don't just leave. It's different. Wait till the end credits. But yeah, be sure to pick up Defcee's music at his Bandcamp. And I'm pretty sure it's defcee.bandcamp.com. And if you like him and you want to help him continue making his music, support him financially, because most of you know that streaming doesn't really do dick for indie artists. So it's not. They like that you stream their music, but really, it's not. They're not getting anything out of it. Next week's episode, we have a chat with the artist Bob Daub. Don't miss that. I know I said it last week on Rich Jones's episode. Last week I said this was going to be Bob Daub's, but I forgot this Defcee episode was coming out in between, so I made a mistake there. But this time for real, Bob Daub joins us on next week's episode. He's a hell of an artist, and it's an inspiring discussion. We also recorded a future episode with Rob Sonic today, and I think that'll air August 7th. You're really gonna want to watch out for that because I'm a huge Rob Sonic fan, and there's gonna be good stuff in that. But you know what? You should just watch all our episodes. That I am preaching. One other thing, this weekend we'll be trafficking art at the Utah Arts Festival. We set up tomorrow, so come see us. ArtByTai pays for this show to even exist. And then my middle finger to X, Twitter rags at DOD45 Show. That's I can get a little dig in on that. Please support independent music and the musicians who make independent music, not by just streaming it, but by financially chipping in. With all the bullshit that's going on in the world and our politics, etc., we will be an absolute useless society of primates pitchforking each other at the behest of overly wealthy dick stains with fucked up hair who could care less about the outcome high up in their untouchable existences. If we don't have the music and the arts from the humans who use their minds to better their communities and add color to the black and white world those dickheads would prefer us to live in. What do you think? I was on one today. I'm really disappointed with a lot of shit going on in society and in our country and things. So anyway,
as am I.
Yeah, I hope that
they're cutting down huge, ancient, like 2.5 million year old forests in, I want to say Tanzania.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
But something like that.
Oh, for like grazing or something.
Yeah, there's so much of it just doesn't make sense, and I don't want to be preachy. Yeah, it's so
there's a lot.
Upsetting.
We do some pretty absurd things.
Yeah,
just for instant gratification.
Shit that we know better. Like the proof is in the pudding, and we still keep I don't know. Can't just be fucking. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yep, there you go. If you like the drawing that I did in this episode, you can, get that at all of the things that you're going to hear in the credits. Check that out. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy drawing, happy conversing. Thanks for conspiring with us, and please pick up after your pads, people. Any final words, Adrian?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Tanzania. It was of Australia.
One of the ones.
It might be Tanzania. Anyway, that's my final words, as I know nothing.
Tasmanian devil.
Where's Tanzania?
I don't know.
Is that even a place?
Yes, Tanzania is a place, but when I hear that, I think of the Tasmanian
Africa.
devil. That sounds like, I think that's Africa.
Isn't that where the lemurs are?
Yeah, I think so. Tasmania is in Australia. Tanzania is in, I want to say Africa, right?
Yeah, maybe it is Tasmania. No, I don't know.
I don't think it's Tasmania.
I'll find out. I'll pay more closer
attention. Pay more attention. Okay, everybody, we're out of here. Thanks, Defcee. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jackson Junge Gallery. Thanks, Mr. Dibbs. Thanks, AWOL1. Oh, I was going to not do that. You'll see everyone's names in the credits. Don't be that person that logs out before the credits end. We out of here. Peace.
DOD45.
Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at ArtByTai on all the socials or at ArtByTai.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.